I'm talking with Michael Cargill here today. I'm at SHOT Show 2025. Michael, how are we doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. Doing great.
So you've got, first of all, I guess we'll run the clock back and we say you are Cargill from the Cargill versus...
Well, now it's Cargill versus United States government.
Cargill versus the United States government.
That's correct.
Why don't we talk about that?
All right, which is the bump stock lawsuit. So bump stock goes back to Las Vegas, where the guy allegedly used a bump stock attached to a rifle to be able to shoot concert goers that were attending a concert here in Las Vegas. The government at the time decided to go through the ATF to actually ban bump stocks. And so I thought that was insane. And so I filed a lawsuit against the federal government, which is the ATF, to stop them from doing that, because the ATF, in essence, said they were going to walk into my house, they were going to take my bump stock from me, and then turn me into a felon if I did not, or either destroy the bump stock. And I said, something had to be done, so I filed that lawsuit in federal court. The case went to the first court in Austin, Texas, and we lost that court. That case. We appealed the case to the Fifth Circuit. It was heard in front of a 3-judge panel in the Fifth Circuit, and we lost that case because there were three actually liberal justices on that court. We appealed to the entire Fifth Circuit in New Orleans, and it was heard by the entire court, all the judges on that panel. I think it was like 12 judges, and then we won that case. And then the government, the ATF, DOJ, Department of Justice, appealed to the United States Supreme Court.
Sure.
So it was heard in front of the United States Supreme Court, and that was February of 2024. And so the Supreme Court heard the case. The ruling came down on June 14th of 2024, which is Flag Day and the Army's birthday.
Interesting.
And so that morning was just a great day, a great morning to hear, actually see the ruling come down on the Supreme Court's website that we won the case. Not only did we win, we also got everything that we wanted. I got the Supreme Court to clarify the definition of a machine gun. The Supreme Court said that the ATF, an agency within the federal government, cannot create or write law. So we got everything we wanted and more. And I loved it.
That's perfect. So that was a huge, tremendous win for liberty. What you did was a great service for all Americans, and this goes beyond just a piece of plastic that was allegedly used during that horrible tragedy. So what do you have going on now? You've got some stuff happening. You and I had some words the other night, and you said, I got stuff to tell you. So let's talk about that.
So the bump stock case, we had to continue on a little further because I needed this case to go back down to the lower court once the Supreme Court ruled. We needed the lower court to actually vacate the bump stock ban and then make sure that the ATF returned everyone's bump stocks to them in the entire country. So on several occasions, the ATF walked into the gun store to return my bump stocks to me. I refused to accept them because if I had accepted it, I would have lost standing in the case. And so the case would have been done, and there would have been nothing to make them return them to everyone else. So I withheld, didn't take the bump stock, made sure we waited till the judge signed the order, which he did. And so now everyone in the United States should get their bump stocks back. So if there's someone out there that the ATF has not returned the bump stocks to them, that they've confiscated, they should get their bump stocks back because it has now been ordered by the court.
Perfect. Okay. And now what's next for Cargill going forward?
The next thing that we were working on was this mom and pop gun stores. The ATF came down with a zero tolerance policy where they're walking to gun stores, performing an inspection and finding any small paperwork errors and deciding to shut down the gun store just for that simple little paperwork errors. They're actually, revoking their licenses. And we're talking mom and pops. We're talking gun stores that have been passed down from generation to generation. The ATF walks in, conducts an inspection. A customer is walked into the gun store, fill out the 4473. On that 4473, they put down, country instead of county. And because of that simple mistake, the gun store gets their license revoked and they lose their livelihood. And so I got phone calls from gun stores all around the country. Michael, you're in this, the case, the bump stock case. Can you help us? We're a small mom and pop gun store and the ATF shut us down. Can we get some type of help? So the only thing I could do was, get with someone to file a lawsuit against the ATF, which we did. And I'm glad I did because we pushed it to a summary judgment. The judge was getting ready to rule on the summary judgment. But before he was able to rule, the ATF came back and reversed their policy and went back to the original policy where they're just conducting normal inspections and assisting gun stores in those mistakes.
So you pretty much had a victory without having to go all the way through the whole battle. So that's a big W, right?
A big, huge win, because we were able to get them to back down, because the Biden administration did not want to take another loss.
Sure.
So before he left office, so they decided to back down, and we won.
That's awesome. One more question for you before I let you go. I heard a very interesting story about you. You are a firearm instructor,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So now you taught somebody that has no arms how to shoot.
Yes.
So I want you to talk a little bit about that, and how did that come about, and then how did you handle it?
Guy came into the gun store one day, and he was trying to figure out how to get his license to carry a handgun. He wanted to be able to carry, and so he had no arms, no hands at all, and he wanted to shoot. I said, okay. He goes, I passed the test. Can you teach me how to shoot? I said, sure, not a problem at all. And so we worked on figuring out what firearm would work for him, because he'd already had the skills. It didn't take much from me. This guy, he had it within himself, where he does everything with his feet already. So we just needed to apply him using his feet to brush his teeth, to using that to firing a firearm. So what I did was we found the perfect gun, and so work with him on loading the magazine, because that's usually the hardest part for everyone.
Sure.
Loading the magazine, push down, push back. So we taught him how to do that, work with him there, and then we talked about how you put your feet on the gun and pull the trigger to hit that target. And boy, let me tell you, this guy he did it all by himself. He had that heart, and I almost cried at the gun range.
Michael, that's a beautiful thing. What I want you to do is I want you to tell everybody that's listening and tuning in, where could they find you? How could they support you? Plug your business, plug everything you're up to.
Absolutely. So the business is Central Texas Gun Works. You can find me personally at michaelcargill.com. I'm on X, formerly Twitter, at Michael D. Cargill. And all my other social media is pretty much Michael D. Cargill. So definitely check me out. And we're moving on, because we need to continue on and put our foot on the gas all the way to the floor, because we have 2 years to make sure that we get a director in the ATF and get a comprehensive bill passed through Congress, so that way we have some good stuff going forward, and we don't get another president that's a D to actually change things and roll things back that Trump has already done.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time. You are a patriot. You are a true American, and lots of luck to you in everything you do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.